Overall, your first impressions of your performance in the spring game today?
Well, as an offensive unit, it was definitely our best scrimmage so far. I would still say we had some better practices, but there was definitely, for the first time in a scrimmage atmosphere, quite a few good things. Definitely, I think the good outweighed the bad.
This being your first time at Austin, how did you feel with the crowd, the energy, everything?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, all the energy, and especially when the crowd erupted after Farrell's first catch, that was big time. So I thought that was really neat, and it just shows the fans care about the players, and that was really neat to be a part of that. But they got loud, and I know it can get a lot louder, but that was the loudest crowd I've ever been around. So.
Knowing that the spring game caps off spring practices, do you feel like you've accomplished everything that you wanted to?
Yeah, the two main goals. I wanted to get to know my teammates and build some serious relationships, and I wanted to have control of the offense. And I felt during the scrimmage, the offensive line and myself worked really well together in pushing the tempo, and we got everyone lined up. We had one substitution error, and it was funny because in a real game-like situation, you're not dealing with rotating the offensive line, so that probably doesn't happen. But other than that, pushing the tempo, making sure everyone's set, and so I felt in control of the offense and developed relationships with my teammates. So spring was a success.
How's your throwing hand? A little dinged up?
Yeah, it's fine. We ran in reverse and I got caught on Troy's shoulder pad, and it kind of yanked out, and then the next couple of drives I wasn't sure I could throw because every time I'd squeeze down on it, my thumb would pop in and out or something. But so the trainers checked it out and it's all fine. But as soon as I got taped and some pressure on it, everything was fine. But I should have had that done right away.
The senior transfer finger jinx around here.
I knew someone was going to say that. I was thinking about that, oh, here we go. But no, I'm fine.
Your first 10 completions, I think, you had a long of 10 yards. Clearly, were you just trying to get some completions under your belt, sort of, and then?
Yeah, well, it's one, completions. Those are great. We like those. But two, play calling. We were just trying to move the chains, get in a rhythm, and we did. A couple, penalties in terms of there's miscommunication between me and the center, defense line maybe. Being loud on their shifts was kind of throwing the offensive line off a little bit, and myself. So we had, myself and the offensive line as a unit had some, a few, offside. What is it? Five. Whatever it is. The center was, just miscommunication. We get those 10-yard penalties, and so that got us behind the chains, and those are drive killers with the offense. You can't get behind the chains like that. So other than that, I felt like we got in rhythm. We were moving the ball at will. And then we started opening up with some deeper plays, but that was just one, play calling, two, just taking completions and moving the chains.
Because you guys have close practices here, nobody here or fans really know what kind of player you are other than on video. But it seemed like the one completion, thank you very much, Dylan Mitchell, probably, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But finally people saw, ooh, he can do that. Is that part of?
Well, do that in what aspect? Just in all aspects, just
throw the
seeing
long
me live.
ball, make big plays.
Yeah. I definitely think once, I think I maybe ran the ball once or twice today. So we get out of those gold jerseys now. It's a little different, and I think my decision making is a little different in terms of when I know there's not going to be a quick whistle or anything. I might take off on the run or try and pull a few of those zone reads. But my decision making today is, hey, let's let the offensive line get to work. Let's let the running back get to work. They're going to try and tackle Kanai, which is not an easy task, and he did a great job. So the decision making is a little different than maybe normal. But in the zone reads we were calling were predominantly plays that you're not going to get a pull read on it from our side. So didn't run as much today, but completely fine with that. And Kanai did a great job.
Did what Dylan Mitchell do today surprise you, or is that?
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all. If anything, I was like, man, we got to give him the ball 5 more times, maybe we get 2 more touchdowns. But he did an awesome job, outstanding. That at the beginning we had that drop, and I don't even really put that on him because we worked something, a cover 2 hole shot, and not one quarterback has thrown that all spring. And so I saw his eyes, he wasn't, and all of a sudden the ball was there. And he was focused on doing his job of keeping the corner and getting the corner out, and he had the outside release, and he was trying to pull the corner off so I could hit the flat. So he's actually doing his job. We haven't thrown that route all spring, and so the ball kind of surprised him. I knew because I saw his eyes. He's trying to get the corner, and at the last second, it was right there. And so that's not, you saw his hands. He doesn't drop the ball. So that was just kind of a unique scenario. But other than that, yeah, shoot, I should have got him the ball a little more. He definitely made me look good today.
Are we seeing the beginning of a little chemistry there with you two?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. I hope he feels that way because I'm going to keep throwing him the ball if I have the chance.
If you were back,
What was that?
Oh, not me.
Darren Carrington in the
Darren
second.
Carrington's in here. Anybody?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
if you were back in Bozeman this year, you would be, coming in as like the established starter.
Mm-hmm.
Like there would probably be a comfort level with that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like anything that you did has translated over here in terms of? Do you feel like you have to prove yourself at all? Like, do you feel like there's not that comfort level of being like, hey, I've done this before, but it was at a different program.
Yeah, exactly. So when I first got here, it was kind of this weird feeling because my whole life I've been the underdog. I've always been the guy that he's not gonna make it. He won't be the starter. I've always been that guy my whole life, even in high school. And so I got here, and now I'm the senior of the group of me, Travis, and Terry. And I kind of feel like, hey, just coming in terms of age, a lot of people always go towards seniority. So they might say, oh yeah, if we start the season today, we might think Dakota's based off, my experience and seniority. And that was a weird feeling for me. So for a while there, it's like I'm so used to being the underdog, and now I'm kind of in different role, different shoes. But once the competition really got going, and I saw how well Travis and Terry had been playing, and kind of got used to them, I'm like, okay, cool. We're just in a competition again. This is awesome. I almost felt more comfortable in a competition, and so I'm happy, the way everything's going right now. And like I said, I feel like I had a successful spring. The quarterbacks had a successful spring, and Coach Lubick in the offense had a successful spring.
You said you. Go ahead.
Given that it was the fans and students' first chance to really see who you are, is it a little frustrating that you couldn't show them the legs today?
I'm over that now because I remember my first 2 or 3 years at Montana State going through scrimmages and being a red jersey. I'm like, man, if I could only run. And so the way I view it now is like, hey, let's take that element out and really have to focus on pocket movement, taking the check downs, and instead of, oh yeah, I could escape with my feet here and go get 8 yards, hey, let's find the hot receiver, let's find the crossing route or the quick flat, let's hit it to him. So it really makes you kind of focus on a different aspect of your game that you need to focus on. And so the legs, I'm still gonna be able to run. I don't need to practice running as much. But I'm totally fine with not being live and having to use my legs because it just makes me work on other aspects of my game.
You said you accomplished your 2 main goals for the spring. Looking forward to the summer. What are the main objectives for you?
I haven't really sat down and planned it. I like to sit down, write my goals, and write the steps I need to take to do that. So I haven't really sat down and planned that out. But just off the top of my head, I want to really try to develop good chemistry with the receivers. I spent a lot of my focus on offensive line and just the team in general, but we didn't have a lot of time to spend on one-on-ones with the receivers and working, because every receiver moves differently, every receiver runs in and out of their breaks differently, and when you get really good chemistry and understand how they move, then you can start releasing the ball a little earlier, and you get that's where you see Peyton Manning throwing the ball and the receiver's like three steps away from getting out of his break. So it's if we can get anywhere close to that level, I think I'll feel real comfortable throwing to the receivers. But I'm feeling really comfortable. But definitely there's a lot of room for improvement on my part because there's such amazing receivers here in skill position. I need to get them the ball, and I can't have wasted opportunities of throwing a bad ball and taking away a touchdown from those guys.
You mentioned possibly some different decision making if this were a real game, but in a spring game today, what percentage of Dakota Prukop football did fans see?
Percentage wise, shoot, I don't know. I mean, I'd say you saw 70% of just actual quarterback play. Like I said, I didn't run, but it's a little different. I ran a lot more at Montana State just because that was in the game plan. Here, we're probably going to want Royce Freeman to run the ball a little more than Dakota Prukop. So, I mean, that's how I feel, and I know the coaches feel like that. So, it's hard to really say and put a percentage on it. But, I'm looking forward to the fall. But, I got to focus on the summer right now and, developing some real good chemistry with the receivers.
Anything else for Dakota?
Are you guys, and again, this is a spring game, and like you said, 70%. Now they can
Yeah, I don't even know.
maybe less than
Yeah,
that.
I don't know, yeah.
But really, it looked like you were arming it a little bit. I mean, is that still something stepping into the ball that you work on, or?
Yeah, I definitely. And towards the end, I was arming it just because I was unsure of how I was throwing the ball, in terms of just beating up the thumb a little bit. But I think tired legs through spring camp. I've taken more reps than I've ever taken during any kind of fall camp or spring camp. So, but definitely there's always things to work on. So I'm gonna go check out the tape and see if I was opening my front toe like I should be and getting that back hip through to use my legs to throw the ball. So we'll see. Check it out. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks.